Book 13, Ithaca at Last. His tale was over now. The Phaeacians all fell silent, hushed his story, holding them spellbound down the shadowed halls, until Alcinous found the poise to say, Odysseus, now that you have come to my bronze-floored house, my vaulted roofs, I know you won't be driven back off your course. Nothing can hold you back. However much you have suffered, you'll sail home. Here, friends, here's a command for one and all. You who frequent my palace day and night, and drink the shining wine of kings and enjoy the harper's songs, the rose and hammered gold and hall of other gifts, you lords of our island council brought our guests all lie packed in his polished sea chest now. Come, each of us, add a sumptuous tripod, add a cauldron, then recover our costs with levies on the people. It's hard to afford such bounty, man by man. The king's instructions met with warm applause. In the home they went to sleep, each in their own house. When young dawn with her rose-red fingers shone once more, they hurried down to the ship with handsome bronze gifts, and striding along the decks, the ardent King Alcinous stowed them under the benches, slip-shaped so nothing could foul the crewmen tugging at their oars. Then, back the party went to Alcinous' house and shared a royal feast. The majestic king slaughtered an ox for them to Cronus' mighty son, Zeus, of the thundercloud, whose power rules the world. They burned the thighs and felled the lordly banquet, reveling there, while in the midst of their inspired bard struck up a song. Demodocus, prized by all the people. True, but time and again Odysseus turned his face toward the radiant sun, anxious for it to set, yearning now to be gone and home once more. As a man aches for his evening meal when all day long his brace of wine-dark oxen have dragged the bolted plowshare down a fallow field. How welcome the setting sun to him. The going home to supper, yes, though his knees buckle, struggling home at last. So welcome now to Odysseus, the setting light of day. And he lost no time as he pressed Phaeacia's men, who loved their oars, addressing his host. Alcinous, first and foremost. Alcinous, majesty, shining among your island people, make your libations and launch me safely on my way. To one and all, farewell. All is now made good, my heart's desire. Your convoy home, your precious loving gifts, and may gods of Olympus bless them for me. May I find an unswerving wife when I reach home, and loved ones hail unharmed. And you, my friends, remaining here in your kingdom now, may you delight in your loyal wives and children. May the gods rain down all kinds of fortune on your lives. Misfortune never harbor in your homeland. All burst into applause, urging passage home for their parting guests. His farewell rang so true. Hallowed King Alcinous briskly called his herald. Come, Pausanias, mix the wine in the bowl, pour rounds to all the banqueters in the house, so we, with a prayer to mighty Father Zeus, can sail our new friend home to native land. Pausanias mixed the heady and honeyed wine, and hovering closely, poured full rounds for all. And from where they sat, they tipped libations out to the happy gods who rule the vaulting skies. Then King Odysseus rose up from his seat, and placing his two-eared cup in a reed's hands, addressed the queen with parting wishes on the wing. Your health, my queen, though all your days to come, until old age and death, that visit all mankind, pay you a visit too. Now I am on my way, and you, may you take joy in this house of yours, in your children, your people, and Alcinous the king. With that, the great Odysseus strode across the threshold, and King Alcinous sent the herald off with the guest, and to lead him down to the swift ship in foaming surf. And Arete sent her serving women, one to carry a sea cloak, washed and fresh, a shirt as well, another assigned to bear the sturdy chest, and a third to take the bread and ruddy wine. When they reached the ship at the water's edge, the royal escorts took charge of the gifts at once, and stores of food and wine stowed them deep in the holds. And then, for their guests, they spread out rug and sheets on a half-deck, clear astern of the ship's hull, so he might sleep there soundly, undisturbed. And last, Odysseus climbed aboard himself, and down he lay, all quiet. As crewmen sat in the oarlocks, each in line, they slipped a cable free of the drilled stone posts, and soon, as they swung their back and blades tossed up the spray, an irresistible sleep fell deeply on his eyes, the sweetest, soundest oblivion, still as the sleep of death itself. And the ship, like a four-horse team, careening down the plain, all breaking as one through the whiplash cracking smartly, leaping through hoofs high to run the course in no time. So the stern hove high and plunged with the seething rollers, crashing dark in their wake as she surged unwavering, never flagging, no, not even a darting hawk. The quickest thing on wings could keep her pace. as on she ran, cutting the swells at top speed, bearing a man endowed with the god's own wisdom, one who had suffered 20 years of torment, sick at heart, cleaving his way through wars of men and pounding waves of sea, and now he slept in peace, the memories of his struggle laid to rest. And then that hour star rose up, the clearest, brightest star that always heralds the newborn light of day. The deep sea-going ship made landfall on the island, Ithaca at last. There on the coast a haven lies, named for Phrases, the old god of the deep, with 2 jutting headlands sheared off at the seaward side but shelving toward the bay, that break the great waves whipped by the gales outside, so within the harbor ships can ride unmoored. Whenever they come in mooring range of shore, all the harbor's heads of branching olive stands, with a welcome cave nearby it, dank with sea mist, sacred to nymphs and the spring we call the naiads. There are mixing bowls inside and double-handed jars, crafted of stone, and bees store up their honey in the hollows. There are long stone looms as well, with nymphs weave out their webs of cloud and sea blue wool, a marvelous sight. And a wellspring flows forever. The cave has 2 ways in, one facing the north wind, a pathway down for mortals, the other facing the south, belongs to the gods. No one may go that way. It is a path for all the deathless powers. Here at this bay, the Phaeacian crew put in. They'd known it long before, driving the ship so hard she ran up on the beach for a good half her length. Such way the oarsmen's brawny arms had made. Up from the benches, swinging down to the land, first they lifted Odysseus off the decks, linen and lustrous carpet too, and laid him down in the sand to sleep, still dead to the world. Then hoisted out the treasures proud Phaeacians, urged by open-hearted Pallas, had lavished on him, setting out for home. They heaped them all by the olive's trunk in a neat pile, clear of the road, of fear that some passerby might spot and steal Odysseus' hoard before he could awaken. Then, pushing off, they pulled off for home themselves. But now, Poseidon, god of the earthquake, never once forgetting the first threats he levied at the hero, probed almighty Zeus to learn his plans in full. Zeus, Father, I will lose all my honor now among the immortals, now that there are mortal men who show me no respect. Phaeacians too, born of my own loins. I said myself that Odysseus would suffer long and hard before he made it home, but I never dreamed of blocking his return, not absolutely at least. But once you had pledged your word and bowed your head, but now they've swept him across the sea in the swift ship. They've set him up in Ithaca, sound asleep, and loaded the man with boundless gifts, bronze and hoards of golds and robes, aye, more plunder than could ever won in Troy, if Odysseus had returned intact with his fair share. Incredible. Zeus, who marshals the thunder herds, replied, Earthshaker, you with your massive power, why are you moaning so? The gods don't disrespect you. What a stir there'd be if they flung abuse at the oldest, noblest of them all. Those mortals? If any man, so lost in his strength and prowess, pays you no respect, just pay him back. The power is always yours. Do what you like, whatever warms your heart. King of the dark cloud, the earthquake god agreed. I'd like to avenge myself at once, as you advise, but I've always feared your wrath and shied away. But now I'll crush that fine Phaeacian cutter out on the misty sea, now on her way to homeward run from her latest convoy. They will learn at last to cease and desist from escorting every man alive. I'll pile a huge mountain around their port. Wait, dear brother. Zeus, who collects the clouds, had second thoughts. Here's what seems best to me. As the people all lean down from the city heights to watch her speeding home, what if you strike her into a rock that looks like a racing vessel just offshore? Amaze all men with a marvel for the ages. Then pile your huge mountain around their port. Hearing that from Zeus, the god of the earthquakes, sped to Shera, now the Phaeacians' island home, and waited there till the ship came sweeping in, scudding lightly alone and surging close to breast. The earthquake god, with one flat stroke of his hand, struck her to stone, rooted her to the ocean floor, and made for open sea. The Phaeacians, aghast, those lords of the long oars, the master mariners, traded startled glances and sudden outcries. Look, who's pinned our swift ship to the sea, just racing for home, just hove into plain view. They might well wonder, blind to what had happened, till Alcinous rose and made things all too clear. Oh no, my father's prophecy years ago. It all comes home to me now with a vengeance. He used to say Poseidon was vexed with us because we escorted all mankind and never came to grief. He said that one day a well-built ship of ours sailed home on the misty sea with such a convoy, the god would crush it. Yes, and a huge mountain around our port. So the old king foretold. Now look, it all comes true. Hurry, friends, do as I say. Let us all comply. Stop our convoys home for every castaway chancing into our city. As for Poseidon, sacrifice 12 bulls to the god at once, and pick out of the herds. Perhaps he'll pity us and pile no looming mountain ridge around our port. The people, terrified, prepared the bulls at once. So all the Phaeacia's islands and lords and captains, milling around the altar, lifted prayers to Poseidon, master of the sea. That very moment, the great Odysseus woke from his sleep, on native ground at last. He'd been away for years, but failed to know the land, for the goddess Pallas Athena, Zeus's daughter, showered mist over all, so under the cover she might change his appearance, head to foot, as she told him every peril he meet at home, keep him from being known by wife, townsmen, and friends, till the suitors paid the price for all their outrage. And so, to the king himself, all Ithaca looked strange. The winding beaten paths, the coves where ships can ride, the steep rock face of the cliffs, and the tall leafy trees. He sprang to his feet, scanning down his own native country, and groaned. He slapped his thighs with his flat palms, and Odysseus cried out in anguish. Man of misery, whose land have I lit on now? Where are they here? Violent, savage, lawless, or friendly to strangers, God-fearing men? Where can I take this heap of treasure now? Where in the world do I wander off myself? If only the trove had stayed among the Phaeacians there, and had made my way on some other mighty king, who would have hosted me as well and sent me home. But now I don't know where to stow all of this. I can't leave it here, inviting any bandit to rob me, blind. So damn those lords and captains, those Phaeacians, not entirely honest or upright, were they? Sweeping me off like this no man's land, and they swore they'd sell me home to sunny Ithaca. Well, they never kept their word. Zeus of the suppliants, pay them back, please. He keeps an eye on the world of men and punishes all transgressors. Come quickly. I'll inspect my treasure and count it up myself. Did they make off with anything in their ship? With that, he counted up the gorgeous tripods, cauldrons, bars of gold, and lovely woven robes, and not a stitch was missing from the lot. But still, he wept for his native country, trailing down the shore where the wash of sea and shingle ebbs and flows, his homesick heart in turmoil. But now Athena appeared and came toward him. She looked like a young man, a shepherd boy, yet elegant too, with all the gifts that grace the son of kings, with a well-cut cloak falling in folds across her shoulders, sandals under her shining feet, a hunting spear in hand. Odysseus, overjoyed at the sight, went up to meet her, joining her now with salutations on the wing. Greetings, friend. Since you are the first I've come to on this harbor, treat me kindly. No cruelty, please. Save these treasures, and save me too. I pray to you like a god. I fall before you on my knees and ask for your mercy. And tell me this for a fact. I need to know. Where on earth am I? What land? Who lives here? Is it one of those sunny islands or some jutting shore of the good green mainland slanting down to sea? Athena answered, her eyes brightening now. You must be a fool, stranger, or come from nowhere. If you'd really have to ask what land this is, trust me, it's not some nameless after all. It's known the world around, to all those who live to the east in the rising sun, and to who face the western mist and darkness. It is a rugged land, too cramped for driving horses, but though it's far from broad, it's hardly poor. There's plenty of grain for bread, grapes for wine, and rain never fail, and the dew falls healthy. Good country for goats, good for cattle too. There's stand on stand of timber, and water runs in stream beds throughout the year. So, stranger, the name of Ithaca's reached as far as Troy, and Troy, they say, is a long, hard sail from Greece. Ithaca? Heart racing. Odysseus, that great exile, filled with joy to hear Athena, daughter of the storming Zeus, pronounce that name. He stood on native ground at last, and he replied with a winging word to Pallas. Not with a word of truth, he choked it back, always invoking the cunning in his heart. Ithaca. Yes, I seem to have heard of Ithaca, even on the Crete's broad island far from across the sea, and now I've reached it myself, with all this loot. but I've left behind an equal measure for my children. I'm a fugitive now, you see. I killed Idomeneus, his son, Eurylochus, lightning on his legs, a man who beat all runners alive on that long island. What a racer. He tried to rob me of all my spoil I won at Troy, the plunder I went to hell and back to capture, true, cleaving my way through the wars of men and waves at sea. And just because I refused to please his father, serve under him at Troy, I led my own command. So now with a friend I lay in wait by the road. I killed him just loping in from the fields, with one quick stroke from my bronze spear, in the dead of night, the heavens pitch black. No one could see us or spot me tearing out his life with a weapon honed for action. Once I'd cut him down, I made for a ship and begged the Phoenician crew for mercy, paying those decent hands a hearty share of plunder, and asked them to take me on and land me down in Pylos, there or lovely Elis, where Epeans rule in power. But a heavy gale wind blew them way off course, much against their will. They'd no desire to cheat me. Driven afar, we reached this island here at the midnight hour. Rowing for dear life, we made it unto your harbor. Not a thought of supper, much as we had all craved food. We dropped down from the decks and lay down, just like that. A welcome sleep came over my weary bones at once, and while the crew hoisted my loot from the holds and set it down on the land near where I slept, they re-embarked, now homeward bound for Sidon, their own noble city, leaving me here behind, homesick in my heart. As the story ended, the goddess Athena, gray eyes gleaming, broke into a smile, and stroked him with her hand, and now she appeared a woman, beautiful, tall, and skilled, in weaving lovely things. Her words went flying straight toward Odysseus. Any man, any god who met you would have to be some champion lying cheat to get past you. For all the round craft and guile, you terrible man, foxy, ingenious, never tired of twists and tricks. So not even here on native soil would you give up those wily tales from the warm cockles of your heart. Come, enough of this now. We're both old hands of the art of intrigue. Here, among mortal men, you're far at the best at those tactics, spinning yarns, and I am famous among the gods for wisdom, cunning and wiles too. Ah, but you've never recognized me, did you? I'm Pallas Athena, daughter of Zeus, who always stands beside you, shields you in every exploit. Thanks to me, the Phaeacians all embrace you warmly, and now I'm here once more to weave a scheme with you, and to hide the treasure trove Phaeacia's nobles lavished on you then. I willed it, and planned it so, when you set out for home, and to tell you all the trials you must suffer in your palace. You have to endure them all. You must. You have no choice. And to no one, no man, no woman, not a soul, can you reveal that you are the wanderer home at last. No. In silence you must bear a world of pain. Subject yourself to the cruel abuse of men. Goddess, a cool tactician countered. You're so hard for a mortal man to know on sight. However shrewd he is, the shapes you take are endless. But I do know this. You were kind to me in the war years, so long as we men of Achaia soldiered on in Troy. But once we'd sacked King Priam's craggy city and boarded ship, and a god dispersed the fleet, from then on, daughter of Zeus, I never saw you. Never glimpsed you striding along my decks to ward off some disaster. No, I wandered on, my heart forever torn to pieces inside my chest, till the gods released me from my miseries at last. That day in the fertile kingdom of Phaeacia, when you cheered me with your words in person and led me to their city. But now I beg you, by your almighty father's name, for I can't believe I've reached my sunny Ithaca. I must be roaming around one more exotic isle. You're mocking me, I know it, telling me tales to make me lose my way. Tell me the truth now. I really reached the land I love? Always the same. Your wary turn of mind, Athena exclaimed, her glances flashing warmly. That's why I can't forsake you in these troubles. You are so winning, so worldly wise, so self-possessed. Anyone else, come back from wandering long and hard, would have hurried home at once, delighted to see his children and his wife. Oh, but not you. It's not your pleasure to probe for news of them. You must put your wife to the proof yourself. But she awaits in your halls, as always, her life an endless hardship, wasting away the nights, weeping away the days. I have never had doubts myself, no. I knew deep down that you would return at last, with all your shipmates lost. But I could not bring myself to fight my father's brother, Poseidon, quaking with anger at you, still enraged because you blinded the Cyclops, his dear son. But come, Let me show you Ithaca's setting. I'll convince you. This haven, look around. It's named for Rices, the old god of the deep. And here at the harbor's head, the branching olive stands with the welcome cave nearby it, dank with sea mist, sacred to nymphs to the spring we call the Naiads. Here, under its arching vault, time and again, you'd offer the nymphs a generous sacrifice to bring success. And the slopes above you, look, Mount Neriton, decked in forests. The goddess scattered the mist. At those words, the goddess scattered the mist, and the country stood out clear. And the great man who had borne so much rejoiced at last, thrilled to see his Ithaca. He kissed the good green earth and raised his hands to the nymphs and prayed at once. Nymphs of the springs, Naiads, daughter of Zeus, I never dreamed I would see you yet again. Now rejoice in my loving prayers, and later, just like in the old days, I will give you gifts if Athena, Zeus's daughter, queen of the armies, comes to my rescue and grants this fighter life and brings my son to manhood. Courage, goddess Athena answered, eyes afire. Free your mind from all that anguishes you now. Come quick, let's bury these treasures here in some recess of this haunted hallowed cave, where they'll be safe and sound. Then we'll make plans so that we can win the day. With that, the goddess swept into the cavern Shadow's vault, searching for hiding places far inside its depths, while Odysseus hauled his treasures closer up. The gold, durable bronze, and fine-spun robes, the Phaeacians' parting gifts. Once he stowed them all away, the goddess Pallas Athena, daughter of the storming Zeus, sealed the mouth of the cavern with a stone. Then down they sat by the sacred olive's trunk, to plot the death of the high and mighty suitors. The bright-eyed goddess Athena led the way. Royal son of Laertes, Odysseus, old campaigner, think how to lay hands on all those brazen suitors, lording it over your house now, 3 whole years courting your noble wife, offering gifts to win her, but she, forever broken-hearted for your return, builds up each man's hope, dangling promises and dropping hints to each, but all the while with something else in mind. God help me, the man of intrigue broke out. Clearly I might have died some ignoble death as Agamemnon, bled white in my own house too, if you had never revealed this to me now. Goddess, point by point, come, weave us a scheme so I can pay them back. Stand beside me, Athena, and fire me with daring and fierce as the day we rip Troy's glittering crown of towers down. Stand by me, furious now as then, my bright-eyed one, and I would fight 300 men, great goddess, with you to brace me, comrade in arms in battle. Great eyes ablaze, the goddess urged him on. Surely I'll stand beside you, not forget you, not when the day arrives for us to do our work. Those men who court your wife and waste your goods, I have a feeling some will splatter your ample floors with all their blood and brains. Up now, quickly. First I will transform you. No one must know you. I will shrivel the supple skin on your lithe limbs, strip the russet curls from your head, and deck you out in rags you'd hate to see on any other mortal. I'll dim the fire in your eyes, so shining once, until you seem appalling to all those suitors, even your wife and son you left behind at home. But you make your way to the swineherd first, in charge of your pigs. And true to you as always, loyal friend to your son, to Penelope, so self-possessed, you'll find him posted beside his swine, grubbing round in Raven's Rock, in the spring called Arestusa, rooting for feed and making pigs sleek and fat. The nuts they love, the dark pools they drink. Wait there and sit with him. Ask him all he knows. I'm off to Sparta, where the women are a wonder, to call Telemachus home, your dear son, Odysseus. He's a journey to Lacedaemon's rolling hills to see Menelaus, searching for news for you, hoping to learn if you're still alive. Shrewd Odysseus answered her at once. Why not tell him the truth? You know it all. Or is he, too, like father, like son, condemned to hardship, roving over the barren salt sea, while strangers devour our livelihood right here? But the bright-eyed goddess reassured him firmly. No need to anguish, trust me. Not for him. I escorted your son myself, so he might make his name by sailing there. Nor is he saddled down with any troubles now. He sits at ease in the halls of Menelaus, bathed in endless bounty. True enough, some young lords in the black cutter lurk in ambush, poised to kill the prince before he reaches home. But I have my doubts they will. Sooner the earth will swallow down a few of those young gallants who eat you out of house and home these days. No more words, not now. Athena stroked Odysseus with her wand. She shriveled his supple skin of the lithe limbs, stripped the russet curls from his head, covered his body head to toe with wrinkled hide of an old man, and dimmed the fire in his eyes so shining once. She turned his shirt and cloak into squalid rags, flipped and filthy, smeared with grime and soot. She flung over this long pelt of a bounding deer, rubbed bare, and gave him a staff and a beggar's sack, torn and tattered, slung from a fraying rope. All plans made, they went their separate ways, Athena setting off to bring Telemachus home from hallowed Lacedaemon.